Welcome into View from the West podcast. I'm your host, Greg Armstrong, once again joined by Mitch Stormer. And Mitch, this is a bonus episode. This is our definitive top 10 UniView rankings for the western side of the state of Illinois. Mitch, Are you ready to deep dive and rank some uniforms?
Boy, we have talked about this episode for months.
Yes.
And so I hope that we're up to the task for it. Because this is something that any listeners who have heard the show before know that we like talking about it, and anybody who might be coming into the show now, we love talking about uniforms. We love looking at uniforms. So this is our way of maybe picking our favorites here in the area.
That's right. So we'll start, before we jump in, we'll do a quick plug. If any players, coaches, fans out there have a uniform that they like or a new uniform that's being debuted, use the hashtag UniView, UNIVIEW, and also, at View from the West podcast, tweet at us, let us know. We always love to see new helmets, new stickers, new uniforms. We're in on all that stuff. So, all right, Mitch, we'll remind everybody kind of how this all worked out. We started last spring with our UniView rankings for each conference. So we broke down the Western Big Six, the Three Rivers, the Lincoln Trail Conference, and the Northwest Upstate Illini Conference. We picked our favorites. Usually it was either 3 or 4 we would each pick from each conference. And if we selected them, they were then put into a pool, and they are now eligible to go into the top 10. So we'll remind everybody, we'll catch everybody up. From the Western Big Six, the teams that were selected by us: MOLINE, GENESEO, Rock Island, and Quincy. Moving to the Three Rivers Athletic Conference, we had ORION, Bureau Valley, Morrison, Hall, Princeton, and Monmouth-Roseville. In the Lincoln Trail Conference, we had 4 teams: Anawan, Wethersfield, Ridgewood, Stark County, United. And from the Northwest Upstate Illini, we had a lot of teams that went through here: Milledgeville, Stockton, Ackwen, Lena Winslow, Orangeville, Dupe, and Forreston. So there's a few more in the Northwest Upstate Illini because it was me, you, and Kyle Kampmeyer from NUICfootball.com. He kind of joined us for that one, so he chose his as well. So the way this is going to work, Mitch, me and you will go through basically a draft, and you'll pick one and I'll pick one until we have each selected 5. So it'll be 10 teams that advance, and then those 10, we will kind of fight it out here in a podcast, and we'll get them ranked. So are you ready to start? Are you up to the challenge of the definitive top 10 UniView rankings for the western side of the state of Illinois?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Mitch, I'll let you do the honors.
Okay.
Select the first team that you're putting into the top 10.
Okay. I'm going to go with an easy choice. It was a choice that you and I both selected as our favorite in the conference. I had teased back then that I thought they were going to make a deep run in this ranking, in this uniform playoff, if you will. And that's ORION. If you've never seen ORIONs, or if you're maybe trying to picture it, and we'll put images here on the video portion.
I was going to say that to those people listening to this podcast, I encourage you to go to YouTube, search View from the West podcast on YouTube, and you'll find a video of this episode. Because, when we're talking uniforms, you need the visuals along with the audio. So, Mitch, go ahead and proceed. But yes, anyone should go onto YouTube and watch this. Yeah.
So, as I said, ORION was a school that you and I both picked when we were doing the Three Rivers Under Armour set, red, white, and black. They have multiple sets, and it's such a super clean look. They do such a nice job of mixing things up, and I don't know if they really embrace that at ORION, or if they just kind of fall into it, because that's a really nice color scheme that we see a lot in the area. But I hope that they are trying to make that look good, because they're doing a great job of it. So I'm going ORION as my first pick here.
All right. That's a very solid pick. I agree. Like you talked about, I liked ORION as well. I'm going to the Western Big Six. My favorite team from the Western Big Six I'm going with the MOLINE Maroons. When they flipped a few years ago to the white helmet with the maroon block M, and they have an all-white set when they're on the road, man, it looks so slick. I'm going with MOLINE. They look great at home as well when they embrace the maroon, but I just, I really like the way they've used the white in the helmet, and so I'm going MOLINE is my pick for my first pick.
Let's go back and just make an important point that it was such a good idea to go back to that block M helmet.
Yes.
From the I call it the wings. To go away from that, they had was it a white helmet with purple wings, or was it a purple helmet with white wings?
Helmet with purple wings.
For trying, but it didn't feel like MOLINE to me. So they revert back, and like you said, that away all white is very, very nice. That is a solid pick for your first selection. I'll stay in the conference. I'll stay in the Western Big Six for my second school. A classic look that has never gone out of style since the 70s. And they do something that some schools do, most don't, but they embrace the sock game. I'm going Geneseo here. I love what Geneseo does. They're very consistent with their stripes, and that is incorporated on the socks. Nike set, nice clean cut, that classic G logo. I love everything about it when I see them either under the lights on their home field or in the fall, or if it's a playoff game, seeing them in the open air. I just love the Geneseo's look.
I agree. And even as a Bears fan, as much as it reminds me of the Packers, now I know I've been told over the years it's not the same color green. Geneseo uses a little different color green, but it still reminds me of the Packers. But that being said, man, it's just an iconic look.
Yeah.
And it like we've talked about, there's no team that looks better on a Saturday afternoon at home than that Geneseo team, come playoff time. That just seems like a perfect fit.
Yeah.
So
they're also very particular to say that the G is not the same size. So maybe that's a trademark thing. I don't know. But whenever because I think they do, they're in Geneseo, they really embrace it. Just making sure that traditional look always is the same, but they always seem to make mention that the G on their helmets might be a little smaller, but on the field, it's like the biggest G that's ever existed. So great job in Geneseo.
I will go with a much more modern team, a team that doesn't have the history behind it, but still has a great look. I'm going Anawan Wethersfield Titans. I mean, they've only been around since the 2000s, but I really like kind of how their uniform has morphed over the years. And it's like Orion. It's an Under Armour set, and they really do it well. I like the logo they have on the helmet, and it's a black or a navy matte helmet with the logo on there. And I like the use of the white and gray along with the navy blue. Really good look. I'm going Anawan Wethersfield as my next pick.
A couple things on that is that the two schools that make up Anawan Wethersfield, both individually had or still have, if they're separate for sports, great uniforms. The Anawan Braves and the Wethersfield Flying Geese. How I don't know if there's a better nickname in the state, but so you merge two great logos into one. They did a great job. Like you said, Under Armour set. Correct me if I'm wrong. They have like the Titan logo on the one, and it's numbers on the other side of the helmet.
They just switched to that, I think, last year or a couple years ago. Yeah.
Which we're indifferent about, but that's not the point of this talk. So, good pick there. That is a very nice uniform.
And one more fun fact, going back to the Anawan and the Wethersfield co-op, the first couple years that they were a co-op, they actually had the Braves logo on one shoulder and the Wethersfield Flying Geese logo on the other shoulder. Yes. They embraced both logos for a couple years, and I always thought that was a really nice touch to embrace both schools and get their team on there. So, just a fun fact there.
Great detail there. Let's see. Where am I going to go? I got 3 left. This is hard. This is incredibly hard.
This is going to get tough. Yeah.
And I'm sure we're going to have to do a couple minutes talking about the teams that we didn't select, because I really like everybody that we had here. Let's see. For my third pick, I'm gonna go Stockton here.
Good pick.
I am a sucker for that color scheme in general. Maroon and yellow. Obviously, when you see it, at least color-wise, it looks like the Washington football team, Washington Redskins.
Yep.
Morris in Illinois has the same. Montini Catholic embraces the same kind of color scheme. So I am a sucker for that because all teams that usually have that color scheme are pretty good.
For whatever reason, but yes.
Right. You go to the helmet, it's the Florida State, Seminole helmet, which just has never gone out of style.
But they almost do like an older fashioned version of it. Like they've never, and I like this about it. They've never updated it and made it look more modern. It's still a very like simple, like almost like two-dimensional arrow, but I think it's perfect. I love the way they do it.
Yeah. So for the most part, traditional look. And then last year they introduced, and I don't want to say all yellow or all gold because I'm not quite sure what color that is because it's not gold, but it's not yellow.
You're right. Yep.
I'm going to call it gold though because yellow gives off the wrong impression. An all gold uniform. They kept the maroon helmet, but gold jersey, gold pants. I think they only wore it once, but it looked pretty cool. In a way for a traditional team to kind of keep the same aesthetic without going way too far out of bounds. So I've always been a fan of Stockton. Great place to watch a game, and they've got the look to match it.
Yep, I agree with that one. I like Stockton's look a lot, and I think the gold uniform kind of embracing a more modern or that kind of color rush look, but keeping a traditional feel to it. It's great. It's perfect.
Yep.
So Mitch, it's getting harder here because I'm looking through the teams that I had ranked up there. Yeah. So I'll kind of try to follow what I had in my.
I'm going to break a lot of hearts because I'm going to break my own heart picking different teams. So, yeah, I'm interested to see where you go with your three remaining.
All right. I think this is one that you don't necessarily agree with. We've debated it. I'm going Stark County.
Okay.
I love Stark County, black jersey, black pants with the red helmet and their interlocking SC. I think that is such a good look, regardless of, like we've talked about, it doesn't necessarily to me matter the exact uniform or the exact jersey. It's just in general, the look of it. I think just the color scheme works really well for me. Yeah. I'm going Stark County. I'm going with the Rebels.
Yeah. I was just going to say that a very Rebel-like uniform. And when you see it, you kind of just associate it right with Stark County because they've looked that way for years. Good pick there. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Three Rivers because it's more of a unique logo that we've seen.
Okay.
And kind of like I was talking about with Geneseo, how they embrace more of the sock game. This team embraces their look in the end zones. I'm going Princeton here.
Good pick. Good pick.
The Princeton Tigers. They can go all blue at home. They can go blue on white. They go all white on the road. I love that look when they're all white because their helmet is a white base with the blue Bengal stripes, tiger stripes in their namesake. But if you have never seen it, and you'll see it on the pictures here, but Bengal's helmet, but it's white with blue. So when they go all white on the road, I love that. And they have those stripes, like I mentioned, in the end zone. And I don't know if they did that before Coach Pearson was there or if he likes it. I'm not sure. But just a look that when you see it, it looks like a team that is just going to run you over. And that's what they've been doing the past couple of years. So I really like Princeton's look.
I liked their look a few years ago when they made one of their first playoff runs. And they embraced more of a black. They had more black in their uniforms. And I thought it looked good. I had no problem with it. But that being said, when Coach Pearson came in and established kind of the hashtag Fear the Stripes, and he embraced the Tigers striped helmet, man, I think it looks really sharp. I think it was a great move. I think it's a good way to kind of, bring your team together over a, one kind of bonded thought, the Fear the Stripes mentality. So I think it works with the uniform. I'm a big fan of that one. That's a good pick. Mitch, now it's getting real tough. Now I gotta make some hard decisions.
I think I only have one left. Oh my god. Oh,
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. This might be my last pick here. So
you have two left because I went first. You have two left.
Yep. All right, I have two left. Good, because I need that. I'm gonna go Bureau Valley.
Ooh.
Yep.
A surprising pick.
This was another one that I don't think that you probably had on your radar either.
Yeah.
I loved a couple years ago when Bureau Valley did the all like Columbia blue, the all lighter blue.
Mm-hmm.
Last year they still did the light blue jersey with the navy blue pants, and it's still a good look. I like the way they've kind of embraced a more of an Air Force lightning bolt,
mm-hmm.
whereas they always kind of had the Charger like rounded lightning bolt.
Yep.
But I think it's a good look. I like it. I don't know. I think it's the color scheme or just kind of the way it all works together. Something about it. I've liked it going back to the early 2000s, with the Garrett Barnes teams and stuff like that. I like the color scheme. I think the look they have now with more of the lighter blue feel is a really solid uniform. So I'm going Bureau Valley in there.
Yeah, like not a bad pick at all. It's surprising that you went there just because I know your tastes. But
okay.
But yeah, I'm not. I don't like the lighter blue over their dark blue just because, like you said, back in those early 2000s when they were all navy and just. It was Garrett Barnes and Preston Jones and all these guys who just ran right by you.
Yeah.
It was a storm team and you saw the bolts and they were gone just as quick. So I'm glad that they've always kind of retained that look. So yeah, if they're going to wear that Columbia blue, I'd like it to just be, Columbia and Columbia, because if any new listeners or returning listeners can remember, one of my rules is that the jersey should always be darker than the pant. Yep. And so when Bureau Valley flips that, it just kind of, I'm going to look the other way. But when you're in the open fields out there at Bureau Valley and the wind's whipping and their jerseys kind of just blend into the sky, it works. So yeah, it's a good look, a classic look. So yeah, that's a good pick. I just was not expecting it.
Okay. Where are you going?
Okay. Man. There's two left. I'm picking between two teams.
Okay.
They're in the same conference. I like them for two different reasons. I'm gonna go with Dupe.
Okay.
Over Lee Win.
Okay.
Well, I'll talk about Dupe first.
Okay.
And I hope that the picture you show is of their helmet, because Dupe,
yes,
kind of like what we talked about with Princeton in terms of uniqueness of the helmet. Dupe is so cool with an anchor coming up the back of the helmet.
Yep.
And that is just something, that maybe some teams do, like Vanderbilt. Maybe they've done it in the past, but I've never seen it look the way that Dupe does it with like the chain links that make it up. Their jerseys are unique. They've got like 4 colors that they embrace, black, blue, gold, gray, white, 5 or 6 colors, I guess now I'm saying it out loud. Multiple uniforms, multiple different looks. They change it up. I think they embrace it there. A run and gun type of offense, it fits them. So, but really what sets them apart from Lee Win is that helmet, because I love what they do there. Lee Win is close for me. I'll just honorable mention here for Lee Win. I love how they look when they're all black. What I like that they do is they traditionally wear white shoes, and I'm a sucker for that. If they're all black and they wear white shoes, I love that.
Yeah.
Lee Win has a look that looks like they could either run you over or run by you. And again, that's just what they do to every team they play. The thing that knocked them down in the last second, Greg, is when I thought back to when we were watching the Princeton game online.
Yep.
Could not make out their numbers on the road. They just kind of, they have like an outline, and it's a really light outline. And this is true on their home uniforms too, on their black. It is really hard to see their numbers. I love their logo. I love their helmet. And again, I love when they're all black and they have white shoes. But what knocked them down over Dupe is just the inability to read those numbers on a telecast, because I'm not sure how announcers do it.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And when we're getting to this point,
The nitty-gritty
fine
matters
details.
at this point. Yeah, the nitty-gritty matters.
So this is it. This is a lot of responsibility for me. I have one more
Yep.
team to put into our top 10. So
I don't know where you're going. I think I do, but I don't.
yeah, to look through it, there's one team here that I feel like it needs to be included in this list. It's a lot of the same reasons that we included a team like Geneseo. I think Rock Island Rocks need to get
I thought you were going to say Quincy. I thought you were going Quincy.
And it was so close. It was so close. But the overall body of work, I'm not getting granular year to year, but just the overall body of work from Rock Island's uniforms. I think it needs to be included in this list because they're so true to their colors. Mm-hmm. And it's a bold colors, and you don't mistake Rock Island when you see it.
Right.
You know it when you see it.
Yep.
And they have like the long-standing traditional, block RI. Yep. And man, when you start talking about that Rock Island logo or that helmet versus like a team like Moline, it screams like iconic football rivalry. Yeah. So I think I have to put Rock Island in here in the mix. So
yeah. And they got new sets last year. They went to a Nike set, and they might have had a Nike set before, but they went with a cleaner look. My only gripe on Rock Island, because I know that they got on us last year about griping about their uniforms, but I'm going to keep doing it. If you show the picture, and I don't remember seeing any game pictures, but I remember when they first introduced them, it was like a team shoot, photo shoot.
Yeah.
The stripes on the shoulders are different than the pant. The pant is like one solid red. It doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
But it's not Geneseo like. So my only gripe, but I love that I don't think they have that all black uniform anymore.
Nope. That's been retired.
Fine. You wear it for basketball. I get it. It's not horrible, but it's not Rock Island, right? Like it's not, at least on the football field. So I do like it that the Nike set, like we talked about, is very clean. It's very nice. Let's just throw some yellow in those pants. That's all.
So you said you thought I was going to go Quincy, and I debated that. Quincy is right up there with me. I really like what Quincy's done with their helmet.
Yep.
I don't know, just something about, in general, I just felt like Rock Island gets the nod because of the just iconic look. I felt like there was just that little extra something that got them in there. It was hard for me to not go Milledgeville. Yep. I think Milledgeville has a very classic look. I've always liked the way they look. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to, Mitch, that did not get thrown into this list before we break down our top 10 here?
That we haven't talked about.
The team that I thought you'd put in there was Hall, and Hall didn't get in up for you.
Let me explain my Hall pick, because I think that surprised you when I said it when we were doing Three Rivers.
Yeah.
They only use two colors. It's only red and white. And I'll throw Morrison in here with them as well, because they are two teams who only use red and white.
True.
But it's such a clean look. And I love Hall's helmets. Their jerseys just say Red Devils across the chest. It's just clean and simple. It's just a nice uniform. But there wasn't that one thing that stood out to them the way that the five teams that I picked did. Yep. But that does not mean that I don't like it, because I really like that uniform. Same with Morrison. Obviously, iconic helmet in the area. Let's see. Orangeville does a nice job. They've got four different uniforms. Purple and yellow.
They do a good job of mixing it up. Yep.
Yeah, purple and yellow isn't the easiest thing to mix up, but they do a good job. Let's see. You liked Monmouth Roseville.
Yeah, they just didn't quite make the cut for me. That was one I liked, but like you said, there were other ones that pushed it over the top.
Yeah, same with like Ridgewood. Ridgewood has a great look, just navy and white and gray, kind of the same as, not the same, I shouldn't say, but same kind of color scheme, almost as Allen Weathersfield. United always has a nice look. The classic U helmet.
Well, and their colors, the black and red, it's the same thing I like about like Stark County. But yeah, I would push Stark County in there just as the more iconic SC. So yeah, that was another one. Those, yep. Close.
And then really the only ones we didn't talk about, I suppose, are Forreston and Ackwen. Just traditional great uniforms. Just they weren't going to meet that top 5 kind of barrier for me or you, so to speak.
Yep. All right. So Mitch, here we are.
Yep.
The 10 teams that are remaining now that we're going to put into a rankings: Orion, Moline, Geneseo, Anawan Wethersfield, Stockton, Stark County, Princeton, Bureau Valley, Dupe, and Rock Island. Okay. So I think based on the way the draft went, the list I just gave, does that serve as our baseline? Does that serve as our starting point?
Yes, I think it's close. Obviously, as we got towards our final picks, we were kind of debating internally with our own demons who to pick and who not to pick. Looking at how we ranked them, I think it's close.
Yeah. Well, give me your first. Where's your first edit here? Where do you think? Who needs to be moved up or down? We'll start there.
Okay,
The floor is yours, sir.
You mentioned Rocky last.
Yes.
I don't think they're the 10th best uniform in the area.
I can see that.
I would move them above Dupe. I would move them above the BV. I would move them above Stark County.
Okay.
I would move them above Anawan.
Okay.
So I would probably put Rocky in the top 5. Probably at the 5 spot.
I'll go. Ooh, that's tough. How about, can we agree to move Rock Island to 6, but keep Orion, Moline, Geneseo, Anawan, Wethersfield, and Stockton in that order? Can we agree to that? Or you think
I'm not as high on Anawan Wethersfield as you are.
All right.
I'm not. I would go Stockton, Rock Island to round out the top 5.
Okay.
And then followed by Anawan at 6.
Okay. I can go along with that.
Okay.
So Rock Island slides up to 5.
You let me make that first move there.
Okay.
Where would you go 6?
For 6, I do think I want to stick with Anawan Wethersfield.
Okay. I'll trade that. That's okay.
Okay. All right. There we go.
We got Stark County, Princeton, BV, and Dupe remaining.
Yep. For me, I think Stark County's the best of what's left. But I knew you wouldn't agree with that.
I think Princeton takes that just because I love the stripes.
Yep. I could go with that. I can see that.
Okay. Are you going to have to put Stark County there at 7?
Yeah, because I think I like them over.
All right, at 8, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think, I like Stark County there next.
Okay.
Yep. When it comes to Dupe and Bureau Valley, I think I agree with you. I think the unique helmet for Dupe pushes them above Bureau Valley. I think I'm set with our top 5.
Orion, Moline, Geneseo, Stockton, Rocky.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I like that. Yes. Moline is a very, very close number 2. Like you talked about, that look is so good, man. I love that color scheme. I love the new helmet that they brought back.
Yes.
But Orion just doesn't miss. They just don't. And they have more uniforms than Moline does. And that adds to the complexity of, making it work every time.
Yep.
But they nail it. They just nail it every time. So, all the credit to Moline, because I think they are very close to taking that spot, but I think Orion holds it. And even Geneseo is close for me to be that second team, with how good and classic that look is. So, and then same thing with Stockton and then Rocky, because I think that is a very, very good top 5 that you and I can agree on.
Yep. I think that we're in lockstep there. I love Moline. Moline was my favorite team in the Big 6. Orion was my favorite team in the 3 Rivers.
Yep.
So it's tough, but for the reasons you said, I think I want to keep Orion at number 1. I think I want to go MOLINE number 2. And Geneseo, in terms of when you start talking about the, classic traditional powerhouse look, they own it. They just absolutely, they are the definition of that like iconic look.
Yep.
I love putting them at 3. And for almost a lot of the same reasons, Stockton slides right below them. I think Stockton's uniform is just almost timeless as well. So I think I like it. I think we're good on our top 5.
Yep.
If you're in lockstep with that, I think that settles it. I
think that was easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. So there it is.
I'm happy with this list.
All right. Well, here we go. This is now the definitive View from the West UniView power rankings of the teams and the conferences from the western side of the state that we cover. We'll start at number 10 with Bureau Valley. They came in at number 10. Very strong showing from them. Like we talked about, I think it's that, for me anyway, it was that lighter blue that they've embraced. I think it was kind of like a newer, modern look, but also the color scheme is just perfect. And we both agree we like the colors. So coming in at number 9, Dupe. Duran Pecatonica, the Rivermen. Mitch, you've talked about it a lot. What got him on this list for you?
The uniqueness of the helmet, and you'll see it here on screen. And I think I mentioned it when I was doing the rankings. They have about 4 or 5 different sets, and they all look good. I think kind of like Stockton. Am I right that they did a gold uniform in the spring?
They did, yeah,
or at least a gold jersey. Yeah,
at least a gold jersey. Yep.
Yeah, so they mixed it up. I hope that they they embrace it, the aesthetics there.
Yeah, and they make it work. Absolutely. The uniqueness of the helmet, like you've said, for me, that's a great touch, and that definitely put them up here on the list. Number 8, Stark County Rebels. Like I talked about, I just think the black on black for me with that red helmet is perfect. It's a great look. They do, over the years, have gone on the road, white jersey with red pants. So then the red helmet matches that, which is also good. But for me, it was the blacks that really really make the red helmet pop, and it looks great.
So like you said, when you see Stark County, you're not mistaking them for anybody else.
Yep. And I think they embrace the black color, which is intimidating. And for all those playoff runs they had, I think that's an intimidation factor at home. Number 7 on the list, the Princeton Tigers. Fear the stripes, Mitch. Yep. It's that stripe, that Bengal tiger stripe helmet. I think that's great. We both like it.
Yep. I love it.
Number 6, the Anawan Weathersfield Titans. It's that Under Armour set, the matte helmet with the navy look and the navy working with the white and the gray. It's a good, solid uniform.
Yep.
Under Armour doesn't do much wrong, in my opinion. They really, if you got an Under Armour set, it's going to look pretty good for the most part.
Yeah. We could talk about Northwestern's Gothic uniforms, but I think you and I would agree with those are nice. So yeah, you're right on track.
That's right. So now into our top 5, the Rock Island Rocks, just that traditional, long-standing, iconic uniform, and especially that iconic helmet. I love it. It's unique color scheme, and it's loud, but it screams Rock Island and that community pride.
Yeah, when they're going to be throwing the ball around this fall, those colors are going to be flying past the eyeballs, and you're going to see them fly by and be in the end zone a lot. So, yep, that's a good look.
That's right. Number 4, the Stockton Blackhawks, another great look, just a really solid, iconic, and a little different than Rock Island. I think their color scheme does work really nicely. It is a more traditional color scheme that you see more often. But again, the same way with Rock Island, it just screams Stockton. It just looks like that timeless look.
Yeah, if you've ever been up there and seen a game up there and gotten that whole atmosphere, it all just works. It's great. One of my favorite places to go to see a game in the area. So, yeah, very worthy of a top 4 spot here.
I agree with you. Moving into the top 3, it's hard to go against the tradition of the Geneseo Maple Leafs. That jersey is great. Like you said, very strong sock game for their uniform as well.
Yeah, and you could look back at pictures from the 70s and, it would look modernized, but it would look similar. So a great job there, as always.
Our runner-up, our UniView runner-up, the MOLINE Maroons. This one, I think we would both agree. This was tough. They had a very good shot at number one. We both, I think, put them as number one in our original rankings, I believe.
I think, yeah.
I know they were mine, so,
Yeah, I don't remember, but I think I regretted not doing that because I don't think I knew at the time that they had that they were going all white on the road. So yeah.
I won't hold it against you. We got it right now. We got him up there.
Yeah, we got it. Yep.
Very close to that number one spot. But our UniView Power Rankings champion, the top of the top 10, we're going with the ORION Chargers. We've talked about it from way back when we did our UniView rankings of the Three Rivers Conference. Man, they're just a strong look. The O with the kind of metallic, inside of it. It's a little bit Oregon Ducks on that feel, but then also just an Under Armour set. They've embraced kind of a gray color along with a strong black and red. It's really good. Chip Filler does a great job. If he's the one that orders uniforms, he's been doing great.
Yeah. Yes. I think I mentioned it earlier on this show, but when we did the Three Rivers rankings, I had said that they were going to make a run deep into this discussion, and here they are, still standing at number one. Well deserved, and we hope that they continue that great look.
Yep, absolutely. So, Mitch, there it is: ORION, MOLINE, Geneseo, Stockton, Rock Island, Anawan, Wethersfield, Princeton, Stark County, Dupe, and Bureau Valley. Those are the top 10 ranked in order. We did it. We got to a consensus. We agreed on a top 10. And actually, it wasn't as painful as I thought it might be. We didn't argue too much over it. So that's good.
Yeah, I don't think so. We've had months to think about it. So maybe we just kind of settled in over time. So at the same time, I hope that there are teams that make changes this year, because this is, as we said, this is going off of what we saw in the spring. So we could have completely new rankings coming up. I almost hope that we do, because I would love to see new things. So as you mentioned at the beginning of the show, if there's any coaches listening, please send us your stuff. If you got new swag this year, not send us, we don't want any gifts, but show it to us, because we want to see it. And get you on this list if you're not on it, or get you higher if you're mad at where you're at. Let's see some new uniforms, and it'll move you up. That's right. Use the hashtag UniView. You tweet at us at ViewFromWestPod on Twitter. We'll be all over it. This is stuff we want to see. So thank you so much to everyone who listened, who followed along. If you got agreements or disagreements with the list, let us know. Same thing on Twitter. Mitch, thanks so much for breaking it down with me, having some fun here. This was great. Yeah, this was an episode that we looked forward to for a while. So hopefully we'll be doing it again with some new teams. That's right. So congrats again to the ORION Chargers, our UniView champions, at least for this first go-around. Thanks so much. That'll do it for this week's episode of View from the West. Thank you so much for listening. I encourage you to go out to Apple Podcasts or Podbean and subscribe so you can follow along, and downloads will come automatically every week. You can follow along on Twitter at ViewFromWestPod. You can also email me if you're interested in being a sponsor, viewfromwestpod@gmail.com. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.